Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday to you out there. Darby Rollins here, alongside Jarvis Jedi Reed Florin, as someone described him yesterday. Here to just kind of spend your next 30 minutes to an hour with you here, just kind of showing you kind of a few of the processes that we're finding to help research different things in different niches, and then using that research and applying it to what you're doing in your books, or even if you're doing blogs, ebooks, anything of that nature. Reed's going to kind of show some of the stuff that he's doing on his front on Quora. We'll look at Amazon at some point during this. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please drop them in the comments. Interact with us. I see a few people on there right now. How's it going? Happy Tuesday. But Reed, thank you so much for coming on with us today. We're going to jam Jarvis. We're going to talk a little bit about books. It's going to be a fun hour.
Thanks for having me, Darby. I'll share my screen here.
Let me see if I need to stop the share on my front. Can you share your screen on your end?
Do you see like the long form?
Yeah, there we go.
Alrighty, so we are sharing the screen, I think. So I've got a lot of different resources that we can go through and kind of quickly hit a lot of different things, but to write things really well with Conversion AI, you're going to want to do a little bit of research on your niche market. And you could use all sorts of different tools, all sorts of free things. I'll go through a few of them real fast. One of the things I really like is WikiHow. So they have all sorts of training on here that people put up. So for instance, here's something about resources that we can go through and kind of quickly. Do I need a headset?
Sorry, no, that was my bad. Facebook just popped up on me.
No problem. So like for instance, here's an article on WikiHow, and I could, grab this information and run it through Jarvis and have it spit out my own version of this. So that's one way you could easily do this. The nice thing about WikiHow is they have really interesting terms and conditions for their content. So let me scroll down to the bottom here, and I'm not an attorney, so don't quote me on everything here, but basically you own the copyright for the content that you submit to WikiHow, but you license the content so it can be repurposed, and it's under a Creative Commons license. So there's a little more leeway about being able to use this information and create your own derivative work from it. So I just thought that would be kind of fun to share. Another thing would be like doing public domain information. So like Gutenberg is a real good resource for that. So you could find books or other resources that have been published a long time ago, and you could take elements of those and run them through Conversion AI and rewrite content that way. That's a great way to get some useful information. So let's do like Wikipedia here. We'll go onto Wikipedia. I'll
real quick, we got a few more people hopping in. You just give a 2-second overview of what we're using in this, again, as it relates to Jarvis with all this research.
Sure. So basically what we're doing is we're kind of doing a little bit of research on a topic so we can have Jarvis write things a little bit better for us and make our job a little bit easier. So let's just grab something here, hopefully something that isn't too strange. Here's some palace. Let's do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. Now there's this other resource called diff checker, and you can have it put your original text in there, and then when you change your text in Jarvis, you can see how the changes are. So let me just do a blank document. Oh, there's tutorials now.
There we go.
So we'll go to focus mode. And one thing to do, you can paste without having like those hyperlinks show up. So on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-V, and on a PC, it's Control-Shift-V. And so that got rid of all those hyperlinks. So let me just highlight like a sentence at a time here. and we can simplify this. I'll explain it to a child. And maybe I can do a little bit more than a sentence here. Sure, we'll go with that one. And maybe I can do all that one.
I love the explain it to a child template.
That's so nice. So, here we didn't really spend much time with that, but we got, it changed something up enough. Now I'm going to find the difference, and it's going to show that a lot of this has changed. So that's one way to kind of know that you aren't plagiarizing something much. So it definitely tweaked things. So the stuff that isn't highlighted, so like the Grand Palace, that's the same. The of Siam is the same. The since 1782. So all that is the same, but a lot of it, changed quite a bit with that. And then we could have Jarvis, continue to write and continue to expand on a topic. So that's a nice thing with this diffchecker.com. That's handy.
That's cool.
Another thing I like, let me log into this. This is called Through. And what I'll do is I will scrape a topic. So I am going to have it do, let's see, why don't we do like how to blog or something. And include the page performance. What it's going to do is it's going to search Google, and it's going to download all of the search results for the top 100 search results. So I'm going to let that work in the background while we do some other stuff.
Cool.
So this is another tool called Phrase. And Phrase, they have a paid plan and a free plan. We can do, so I'm on the free plan right now. It lets you do 5 content briefs a month. So why don't we do a new one and go with our blogging theme. So we'll go with blogging. And anything else I want in there. Great document. Now, what's nice about this is it's searching all sorts of sites and gathering a bunch of information for the top sites. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it automatically create a content brief. So this can really give you a good outline for your book.
You get 5 free right now.
You get 5 free a month.
Cool.
Otherwise, they have a paid plan, and I don't know, it's $50 or $100 a month, something like that. So it kind of like how Surfer can tell you a lot of stuff, or it tells you how many words and different things like that. It does that for you as well. And it does have a little bit of a way to get like the different questions people are asking. So like that people also ask on Google, it can grab. It's currently doing that right now, going a little slow, but it's grabbing those. It's grabbing stuff from Quora, grabbing stuff from Reddit. So it's grabbing all sorts of different questions and things. So why don't we automatically create a content brief? So I'm going to have it just select everything. I'm going to insert that into the editor. And so that's going to spit out a content brief for us. So that's putting all this information for us. So like here's the top questions that it found. Wow. So those are things we could hit up. Here's what the top search results look like for just the word blogging. Here's different topic clusters. So these could be different topics that you could write about, different blog posts or create different content that's common themed about the kind of the top results. So you have all this information in your top headers for these articles, the different questions, different statistics. So this is good information that you could have. It even sources it for you, so you know where it came from. So you could use this information and put that into Jarvis as well to have him expand on that for you. Here's some common things that the articles are linking to that it found useful. So let's see if Through found those results. So Through grabbed a whole bunch of stuff for how to blog, and so I'm going to download that. If it'll go. There we go. So Through is really cool. hopefully it opens here. So this is through. So it just shows that that was my query for how to blog. It's going to give me, here's the top like 100 or so results. It even grabs the paid results too. So different paid advertising, it's going to grab that information. So, if you run paid traffic, that's kind of nice to have that information to see what your competitors are doing. Here's, like the top performing ones that are doing well. Let me move this. This is just the titles of the top like 100 pages. Here's the different headings. So like the H1 headings for those articles. Here's the H2 headings for each article. So you could find an article that you liked and you could have all the H2 headings, or you could see what ones are common themes. And those would be definitely things to hit on, because the top 100 sites are talking about things over and over and over again. I mean, here's 827 different just H2 tags, and yeah, some of them are going to be very similar, or multiple things, but you could go through that and come up with a really good outline for your book that way. Same thing with
this is great for just getting everything you need to talk about right there in front of you.
Here's some top questions that it found. Here's things that a lot of places are linking to. Those are the paid results. So I think that's everything in Through. And I mean, that's really handy. You get 10 searches a month for free with Through. And it's app.samuelschmidt.com for that one. And it's 10 credits a month, and then you pay above that.
Let me type that in quick.
Yeah. Another tool I like right now is called Neural Text. And this is similar to Phrase. It has some other features too, but it has like a keyword research tool, which is kind of cool. So I don't do blogging for that. So I'm going to search for that, and it's going to give me, all the, we'll see how many keywords it'll give me. Maybe like 1,000 different keywords about blogging, and it's going to show me how many searches there are, what kind of competition there is, how much it would cost per click if I were to do paid traffic. And I've got 1,000 entries there. Now I could download that data, and I'd have it. And so I could use that information. I could, so they have a feature, but I like this Umbrella site. Let me open that up and show you how that works too. So let's go back to Neural Text. And I can show some other stuff in Neural Text too, but let me go to my exports. And we've got our blogging keywords. So I'm going to download that. So I've got my blogging keywords here. And I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to run it through this site called Umbrella.com. And they have a tool for keyword clustering. Now, keyword clustering allows you to group related keywords together so you know what to write about for like a specific page. So let me hit submit here. And it's going to put everything together in little groups. So here we've got all these different groups that is putting things together. I'm going to export this. We can do an Excel spreadsheet. And so we'll download that. So here, here's blogging, for writers, and what to write in blogging, and blogging sites for writers, and best blogging platforms for writers. So, you could definitely have an article or a chapter on, blogging specifically for writers. Here's stuff that's related to WordPress. So notice that it has WordPress in the search term. And so it does that for each of those, 1,000 keywords that I put in there. It broke things up and gave us, things are in multiple categories. So we have, over 2,000 different ones. And if, we were to go like unique ones, there's probably 100 or more unique topics that are categorized that we could write about just with that export. It's really a slick way to kind of categorize and group together things. Let's see, what else do I want to show in Neural Text? So if we do, I can do content projects. So they have a thing kind of similar to what Surfer has with the content optimization thing. So let me show you that. So here, this was a search just for affiliate marketing that I did. And this is kind of similar to what Phrase does, where it grabs a bunch of that information and puts it all together. You can export it as a spreadsheet. You can see the different questions. So you have all that information, so you can download that data. So that grabbed 116 top questions. Your search engine results has the different outlines. So this is grabbing your header tags for the top, I want to say 10 sites related to affiliate marketing at the moment. And so I could use that information and start writing my own brief. If we go to content templates and content editor, I can show you things. So like here's some content templates. This can help guide you on how to write your book or anything you want to write. So let's do like a definitive guide on something. And so it's going to kind of walk us through what we need to hit on, what kind of keywords that we want, our structure for our article or our book, whatever we're doing. And that can help guide us, and we can kind of come up with an outline here and really plan things out, and then go into Conversion AI and start writing. And we can also have it grab some of the information. So let's say, let's look at the outlines here. So I can grab individual elements of different outlines and put them into my document from different sites. So I could look at all those sites in there and just be dropping them in there for different things that I want to talk about. So that's a handy tool. Let's go into their editor. So this is like the Surfer SEO thing, where it kind of gives you a grade on how your content is looking. So like this particular one of mine is a really long blog post, and it's rated A in their editor based off of me targeting affiliate marketing for the keyword and different things that I'm doing with my content. So that's a cool tool. I like that as well. That's a paid product that you can use. We talked about Surfer, and a lot of you guys are probably on the dollar trial with that. So what's beautiful about that is it works really well with Conversion AI. It's all built in. And so like they have this content editor here. You can also access this from the long form assistant, but it will grade your writing here, and you'll know what you need to change, what you need to improve. And I just copied some of my text into there for that to see what it does. There's also, you can do these audits, which I believe audits your website or your web page. So I can show you that quick. That's maybe not as useful if you're writing a book, but it could be a nice thing to know if you're using Surfer. Let's do the content planner. This is similar to some of the other tools I've shared, where it's clustering our keywords together. So I did a search for affiliate marketing, and it's putting them all together for different things that it finds relevant. So I can open this up, and it's going to show me those top ones. And if I want to, I can create a content brief just on that topic. I'm not going to do that right now, but I could do that for that topic. You can filter things and get rid of ones that are they're within a certain search volume. So maybe you want the 500 to 1,000 word search volume. You could work on those ones if you wanted. You could do different keywords that you wanted, different intent. Like, so for instance, this is for people that are customer intent. So they're looking for something to perhaps purchase, and that's going to be better than someone that's just looking for how-to information. You got your search engine analyzer. So this is going to look at the top pages, which may give you some ideas. This is going to be similar to some of the stuff we did with Phrase and Through and Neural Text, where we were getting some of those search results. But it's getting like the popular keywords and different questions and stuff that are being asked and answered on those sites. You have that information. Keyword research. This is kind of similar to the thing I shared in Neural Text, where I did a search for affiliate marketing, and then it found a whole bunch of keywords related to affiliate marketing for me, and then I could further research those on my own with it. It's just kind of a handy way to do stuff with this. Now, this is a little bit more of an advanced topic, but one of the ways that I've gotten information is by scraping the internet for information. And Any Picker is a tool. I think I got a lifetime deal on it for really cheap, but they do have a free plan that lets you do some stuff. I'm not sure if it'll let you do everything that my plan does. I'm on their like lifetime deal. But basically how I've used that before is I've gone to like Quora, and let's say we go to a topic. Why don't we go, I don't know, digital marketers? Why don't we try that? And we can go to answer. And so here's a bunch of questions on Quora for the digital marketing topic. And all I'm doing is just kind of scrolling down here so we can perhaps grab some of this data. And so we've got some of them. Usually I can go further down. This may not be a super popular topic, but Any Picker is this extension. And I'll just do a new recipe here. I'm going to select my rows. And let's see, I'm going to want the question title and how many answers there are. That's usually all I need. That should be good. That should be fine. And I'll build my task. And what it's going to do is it's going to go to that page, and it should grab all those questions for us. It's showing how many answers there were, and the actual link to the question, so I could go answer it if I wanted. I think it also is grabbing how many followers there were. I'm not seeing that in there, but it's scrolling down and it's getting all those for me. And so one trick, I'm not seeing any that jump out here, but one trick for that is to look for ones that don't have any answers yet, because then your answer is at the top because you're the first person to answer it. And so everyone that finds that question, they're going to see your answer, at least until someone else answers the question. So that's a real quick trick. And then you could go, this would be a little traffic hack for you. You could go into Conversion AI, and I don't have to be in the long form assistant for this, but you can access this anywhere. You could have the Quora answers. So I could grab one of these questions. Can digital marketers work from anywhere? Let's find out. I don't know. I have no clue. Let's generate the content. And so we'll answer that question here, and then I could post that answer on Quora, and people could start following me. People could start upvoting my answer. Like, ones where it's just like yes and sure, that's probably not enough. But for instance, this has a couple paragraphs. This has some more information here. So you could just copy and paste one of these and pop it into Quora and start responding to different questions in your niche market. Another way that I've done it is I just paste it into here, and then I have the long form assistant just write it for me. And sometimes it comes up with a good way to do stuff. So that's one way that you could even drum up some business for your book, because you could say in your bio that you're the author of whatever your book is, and then you could be answering these questions, and people might go, oh, this guy's a published author. He's got a book. I'm going to buy his book because he took time to answer my question too. So that's one way you could do things. I'm going to just close Any Picker here.
Thinking the same thing, Reed, with everyone when you're writing your book, if you're doing the 7-day challenge, or if you've already written a book or anything like that, just getting your name out there in more places is just going to get that kind of trickle effect over time. Quora is a really great place to have those expert answers, especially for like nonfiction books like we're dealing with. You want to be sending them to your book funnel so that they can get in your ecosystem and you can start nurturing them. So yeah, Quora is a great spot.
For sure. It is a wonderful way to do that. Plus you really know what your customers want, because you're answering their questions that they're having a hard time finding answers for on the internet. So it allows you to create content for social media. It allows you to create content for your blog, create content for your book, create content for your YouTube. You can repurpose all these Quora answers that you're doing and put them in your book. You can put them on your blog. You can use them in all these different places. You don't have to keep churning out this content over and over again. You can just keep using the same ones. on all these different platforms. So it's really handy. Here's
So
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so you're like, the suggestion there then is that if you're going to start with one place to answer all the questions, start with a place like Quora, then take those questions that you did answer, save them in a doc, file them, organize them so that if it comes up, you can just drip the same piece of content that you took 10 minutes to answer and use it for unlimited purposes.
Yeah, I mean, you could use it for your like a video script and have like a teleprompter and read that. I mean, there's lots of teleprompters for your phone or your iPad nowadays that you could have your answer all scripted out, and you just read it and record yourself on the camera. You can take that audio and turn it into little podcasts. I mean, there's so much you could do with this content. It's amazing. One of my favorite Chrome extensions is called Seo Minion, and this does a lot of cool stuff. Why don't we'll go back to that Wikipedia article and we'll do Seo Minion on this. So we can analyze the on-page SEO. We can see those headers like we talked about earlier. We could download that for an individual one. So let's say maybe you found an article that isn't ranking well in the search engines, at least not for what you searched for, but you stumbled on it. Maybe it was a news story or something. This would be a great way for you to get the header tags right away for that, and that could help guide your content. There's a lot of other stuff in here, like you can highlight all the links. That could be really useful if you were wanting to do a little more research for things. You can download that. You can see how it looks in the search engines. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with the tool. But I think the downloading the headings could be really useful, especially if you're on a site that maybe is new or isn't ranking in the search engines for what you search for.
We just got a question, Reed. And all great tools. What would be the 1 to 2 must-haves? Say writing an article, blogs, or a book. In your eyes, for the book context of this, say like you're looking for that real authority type of piece book. What would the 1 to 2 tools be there, and would those be different than the blog? And
sure.
why?
I mean, it really depends. So, if you have the Surfer SEO extension inside of Conversion AI, you don't really need these other tools. So if you already have signed up for their trial there and you're using that, it's all built inside of Conversion AI. That's what I would stick with. But if maybe you're on a budget and you don't want to take on another recurring subscription, you could use Through, because you could do 10 searches a month for free with that, and that can scrape all sorts of data, and that can be really useful. I think Phrase is really nice. It's done really well. The thing that I like about Neural Text is they're on a lifetime deal right now. So I don't know how that'll go going forward for stuff, but I missed out on the lifetime deal on Phrase, and I thought Neural Text was a good alternative for it. But basically, if you already have a subscription to Surfer SEO, I would just stick with that. You wouldn't really need to mess around with a lot of these other tools, because that really does pretty much everything I've demonstrated so far. That has it in there. So you don't really need to add extra expense or learn all these other tools as long as you have that one.
Cool. So Conversion AI plus Surfer SEO, any like cherry on top that really would help with optimizing your use of Surfer or otherwise? I mean, I know just searching for stuff on Amazon is so helpful for like book outlines, book titles.
Yeah, why don't we look at something on Amazon? So we'll grab, why don't we do Jim Edwards' book on copywriting secrets? And so there's different things you could do here. Like we can look inside the book here. So I'm going to click on the book cover. This is a great way to, if it loads, to get the table of contents and some other elements of the book. So let's see if we can see stuff. So let's look at the table of contents. So here's his table of contents for his book. So that could give us some ideas of things that we may want to cover if we were writing a book on writing sales copy.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be very useful. An extension here is called Helium 10, and I know that you use this a ton. So you you have a lot of knowledge about this. I haven't used this a ton, but one of the things that I like is this like review insights.
Mhm.
And so I can extract the reviews, and this is a great way to find out, what like questions people had. I guess there's none that were posted in that time. Different analysis for things. If people don't like the book, like this guy gave it 3 stars, and he thought it was too much fluff. So that might be some stuff to pay attention to. Like if you have access to this book, you might go, okay, so what was so fluffy about this book that I want to make sure that mine doesn't have
Mhm.
that. So if you have a book that's really popular and it's polarizing, you're going to get a lot of 1 and 2 star reviews, and you're going to see what people like, what they don't like. You're going to see different language that people are using in their reviews. And that's going to be stuff that you can highlight on your book flap, on your Amazon description, in the book itself. You can, start using some of those words and phrases to, really guide your visitor to purchase your book and to keep going to the next section of your book. And that's going to be a great way to build your tribe. So Helium 10, they got a free Chrome extension. I know they have paid tools too, but their free Chrome extension's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a pretty, like you said, I'm a big user of Helium 10 because I do a lot more on like on the product side of keyword research, identifying categories there. And one thing that we use the reviews a lot for is like really like because inside of the Helium 10 app, you can, I think that's called Frankenstein, where you can process a lot of the keywords and see what are the words that are being used most often, what are the most common words, and like using it is like $97 a month for their like full suite. And so it's like you said, like another subscription to add to your expense. It's not necessarily necessary, but they allow you to export those tools and those reviews, and that can be a really fast way to understand like the voice of the customer and then work with Jarvis, knowing what you know and what you can see as the writer to direct him to really make some nice copy.
Great idea. Yeah, I have not dabbled with Helium 10 enough to really know what all it does, but it sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Another thing that we have expressed some interest in is taking like an Otter transcript. So maybe you're someone that has, maybe you have been on a podcast before, or you've recorded audio or video clips of you speaking somewhere before. You could put that information into Otter, and it can, give you the transcript. So I can copy that. I could go back into Conversion AI. I have it. I could, have it, clean it up a little bit for me, and that's going to make it better, and it's going to make, what might read really clunky in a book as a transcript. It's going to make things sound a lot better for your book, and so that's one little trick. Another thing I like to do is kind of switching back and forth between rephrase and explain it to a child, and so that's one way to kind of find whatever your ideal way of phrasing things is with Jarvis. You could also have Jarvis expand on this information, or you could take this text and run it through any of the other tools inside Conversion AI to spit out other things. Why don't I we'll grab this one and we'll just put it in there, and I'll just put phone because it looked like it was something to do with a phone. And so it's going to spit out some different framework, which may make this more interesting to read, and that could give you some ideas of where you want to go with your book or your blog article or whatever you're writing with Conversion AI. So let's just see if this spits out anything fun. So it's starting to do stuff with it. You could run it through Creative Story and do things like that too. I mean, there's so much you could do with it. You're only limited by your imagination with Conversion AI. You can't really break it. And you don't have to use the content you generate. I've generated hundreds of thousands of words that I haven't used at all inside Conversion AI. Just me playing with different things, different tools, trying different ideas out, and seeing what I like. So there's just so much you can do with that. Another thing. Why don't we go with, we were demonstrating blogging before, so why don't we do this quick? We can look at like blogging courses on Udemy or however it's pronounced, and I can look and see what are in these courses. So like this is a best-selling one, Blogging Masterclass, How to Build a Successful Blog in 2021. And it's $160. Okay. So this is, you know, not exactly cheap. And it's got 29,000 students. So he's making some money with this course. So one thing you could do is you could grab these bullet points, and those would be good things to talk about in your book or in your you know, article that you're doing. You may want to look at some of these requirements to see if there's anything else that you would need to cover and train people in. You can look at the reviews that people have, so that can be useful. One of the things I really like is this course content, and I can expand all the sections, and so I can see all the different things that he's talking about in his course. And it's kind of like a table of contents in a book, and I can copy and paste all that into Jarvis, and Jarvis can expand on these topics, or I could have it rewrite you know, this table of contents for me and then expand on these topics. And that's one way that you could make your own version, or you could make multiple books, like this improving your writing section. It's got all these kind of chapters. That could be your own little miniature book on improving your blog writing. You know, another book could be the most effective types of blog content. Those could all be either separate chapters or different books. And you could repurpose all this kind of stuff with all sorts of different courses that you find on this site or on similar sites. And, you know, other people have already proven that people are spending money on this content, that they're having a hard time finding this information online, and you're able to create your own version of it without even having access to this course. You've just seen what is in their outline, and you could make your own version of this. Now, another thing we could do is
real quick on that, while you're talking about that topic, Reed, for the purpose of like the smaller books here versus like having one massive book that's just the end all be all on a topic. There's a trend in books getting smaller, and Amazon is echoing this by like putting some more emphasis over the next few months on rewarding artists that are building series, like books that have multiple series with them. And so you don't need a 50,000 word book to write and publish, right? I mean, it might just be a 100-page book that's real right to the point around one of these topics. So like, again, series are going to be a lot more common thing, I think, going next. Consumable, actionable, help person solve a problem. They buy your next book.
Definitely. So like, I think there's a thing called Kindle Vella coming out right now, and that's kind of same thing where it's a series of content people subscribe to, and they're gonna get the next chapter basically in the book. And so that's one way that you could, you know, make one of these larger books if you wanted, by you know, proving the concept and having people, you know, subscribe and get access on a regular basis. You know, maybe once a month or once a week, you're releasing a new chapter, and people are getting access to that. And then maybe easier for you to do, and you can really cater your book to your audience, what they want. And that's going to allow you to not have so much stress of going, oh, I got to write this huge book. Well, I'm just doing a little bit at a time, and I'm making a little bit of money doing it, and I'm custom tailoring it for my audience. And that's almost like writing a blog and taking your blog articles and dumping them into a book. So I know a really popular book, and there's a lot of books that have done this, but like Atomic Habits is totally that way. It's totally his blog posts just dumped into a book. And, you know, I've read every blog post, at least at the time. I read every blog post on his thing, and I read the book. I'm like, gosh, this is like the same thing that was on the blog. And so it was, you know, sure enough, I started looking, you know, for the different, you know, chapter headings, and I found them on the blog. And I was like, okay, well, that's one way to write a book, and that obviously has worked really well for him. And there's lots of other authors that do the same thing. You know, another thing you can do is you can go to YouTube, and why don't we do blogging?
And it's a great extension, the newsfeed eradicator.
Yeah, it's so time saving. So we can do our filters here, and let's look for ones that have subtitles, because that's going to make this a little easier to find. So here's blogging tips for beginners. So I'm going to click on that, and I'll try to pause it before we get any sound. Oh, I think I did it. Good. And so we could, you know, download this information. You know, we could actually look at the transcript here by, you know, clicking on the three dots and just opening the transcript. if we wanted, and it should show up right here, which is, kind of helpful. Otherwise, I've got this one. I think it's YouTube subtitle download helper, and I'll just hit download, and it's going to download that whole subtitle for me. So I've got the whole thing, and I can just copy and paste that information, put it into Jarvis, and that's going to, I could use that to help rewrite this video as my own. And that's a great way to give you some ideas. So if you found a video that you liked, that's a good way to do things. Another resource, we get two here, checklist. This is going and looking at different checklists that people have put up. And so we'll just click on something. Why don't we do SEO? Because that might be kind of fun. So like, here's an SEO checklist that someone put out. I could copy, this information and just drop it into Conversion AI and make my own version and expand on it. And I'd have my own, really nice, article or start of a book by, piggybacking on someone else's work. This guy's written 130 checklists on the site. I can just click on his name. He's got a whole bunch of different things. So like each one of those could either be chapters or a book in their own, or they might be multiple books. And that's just one person. I mean, there's thousands of these things on the site. Checklist is kind of the same kind of deal. Let's go to their free templates. And so we can do like freelancer onboarding. Let's click on that one. And so here's a checklist for like onboarding your freelancers. So if you're writing a book on how to do, how to onboard a freelancer, this would be a good way to start. Each one of these could be a chapter or a subhead inside a chapter of your book. And so that way, someone's already done the research for you. Why reinvent the wheel? You just dump this into Jarvis, and then, maybe have him rewrite it a little bit so it's not so obvious you just lifted it from this thing. And, you've got the beginning of a checklist, beginning of a book, beginning of a blog article. You can turn that content into videos. Then you can export the audio and turn it into, podcast episodes. And I mean, you've totally just lifted this and made it so simple and easy for you to do all sorts of stuff and just dominate your niche market by piggybacking on other people's work and then using Jarvis to improve it. So, I mean, the sky's the limit with this tool. And you combine it with all these other things that I've shared so far in this training. And I mean, you can do just about anything with Conversion AI.
Yeah, so cool. And like a big part of what we're doing with Jarvis and what he helped me with, and a lot of people, is helping with that outline and expansion. Like you said, like now adding in all these free resources the internet has to offer that's giving you everyone else's, letting other people do the bulk of the work for finding out what order this stuff goes in the first place, then just working with Jarvis, you can, like you said, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, why reinvent the wheel? There's millions of people out there that have created content on the internet, and they've covered just about any topic imaginable. You might as well find things that are popular online that people are liking and then improve on them, because it's so much easier, especially when you're using a tool like Conversion AI and letting Jarvis, rewrite things and expand on things, and then you interject some of your own stuff. Another thing we didn't do the voice to text, and I know that's one of your favorite tools that we've played with. So here I'm gonna just talk, and it's gonna write for me inside Jarvis. And so this is a tool called Voice In, and there we have it. I'm writing. No hands, and it's putting it in my document. So that's another really cool tool that I think a lot of people are going to love having.
And I like how you were using it when I was watching you the other day. See, it's picking up my voice too on your end. So you could collaborate with somebody, right, with a tool like this. If we had, let's say you wanted to write out a chapter and bringing in just a team of people to help you with the different topics and working through. I mean, you could stream of conscious an entire book in a few hours if you had all the experts in the room. That might be a fun experiment to do, see how fast we could write. That
might be a lot of fun. I mean, you could easily do a thing where you got together a couple people in your niche market, and it'd be kind of like a blog roundup. and you might ask them like one specific question, and they each talk for a minute or two answering the question, or a couple minutes, and you've got a book with, you know, like 10 co-authors already, you know, done in like an hour. And you could dump that transcript either into Otter.ai or use the voice in tool to you know, just type it all out for you. And then you could have, you know, Jarvis improve things and do a little minor tweaks and edits to it, but you'd have a book with all sorts of co-authors in no time with that method.
And we might have to turn this training, as someone said, into a book too. Maybe we throw this into writing with Jarvis, and
we could, yeah, we could definitely do this, or do another book with all sorts of tools with Jarvis.
No, so, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because like there's like with the continued expansion of like AI and just how it's just continuing to just weave itself into our everyday lives. Like a lot of people are using it, have no idea that the tools that they're using are powered in part sometimes by the same tools that Jarvis is being powered by. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is built off of a really amazing, you know, foundation that, you know, we're really only at the tip of the iceberg at. So super cool to see everyone here live with us. Thank you all for joining in with us. It's a lot of fun read. If anyone had any kind of questions, just want to say, hey, you know, say like, you know, really appreciate you guys showing in. Yeah, that voice in was awesome. I like the idea of the author roundup. That'd be fun. Maybe we could have a it's like the first, and what is it called when you have like a bunch of like an anthology or something?
Yeah, I think it's an anthology. Yeah,
like the first anthology written by you know, the AI community, written by Jarvis. Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe if you would be into being a part of that anthology, drop a comment and let us know what you'd write about. You know, I could see us putting out a lot of different series on different themes of this in that topic. And one of the interesting things, we're getting a lot of feedback on the Writing with Jarvis manuscript right now, is like this tool releasing new templates every hour. We can't keep up with all of it. So there's going to have to be additions to it. So I'm wondering how we can tap into this series mindset and like have it, you know, just like it's the same theme, but it's an ever evolving theme. We're going to find new ways to use it. We're going to find new tools that let people work faster, work smarter, more efficiently. You know, someone gave the idea of the book or the series being called Published with Jarvis versus just writing, because there's so much more that is going in. You can write a book, but then you publish it. What goes into really getting that process? I thought it was a really interesting point. So I'd love to get people's thoughts on the name, especially, and the title is the most important, you know, thing that people are going to see when they buy a book. And so we want to make sure that the name that we do end up launching within a month sticks and that it makes a lot of sense. So next week, I'll be sending out some surveys to everyone that had purchased the pre-order, the Advanced Reader Edition. Should have had their hands on just the Google Doc manuscript by now. If you have read through it, would love to hear your thoughts, good, bad, ugly, whatever. But yeah, I know if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We got a few more minutes left here, but if no need to drown it on, we got another call we're hopping into in just a few top of the hour for the 7-day challenge. We're on day 4 right now, and we're getting ready to kind of do the final push into the weekend, helping our authors go from that blank page to published in 7 days. So next challenge is starting June 7th. And if you missed this one, if you didn't have time, you want to make sure you can block out. I recommend at least 15 to 20 hours in a week if you like really want to give yourself the best shot. But if you join early, you get access to all the trainings. So you're not trying to eat up all the information the day before and dive right in. It's totally possible. The next challenge will be June 7th. So June 7th is going to be when we do the next challenge. You know, maybe Reed will make another appearance the day or two, just kind of have our inside the private community. We'll do an hour-long live call each day, doing questions, you know, answering what we can, helping people through roadblocks, and also doing stuff like this, working through Jarvis, working through different ways to use different tools and apply it. You guys can sign up for the challenge at writingwithjarvis.com. I just put a link into it right there. It's writingwithjarvis.com. Takes you to the 7-day challenge. We're probably going to need to increase the ticket prices coming up to this next challenge. It's $147 right now if you pay in full. Had a lot of people join us this last round. It's been a real pleasure and a real opportunity to work with everybody and see everyone's books kind of start to come to life. And really, this is just, again, I think the beginning of it. Just a few months in with Conversion AI. Jarvis is still new to the world. Most people don't even know this stuff is here yet. And this is the future to, what people see watching all these futuristic movies. We're kind of there. So, yeah. So due to the time zones difference, the biggest part of the training. Yes. So this should be just recorded. You should be able to watch it in the group. I'm going to be uploading this recording to our YouTube channel. If you guys just search Jarvis Underground, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll keep putting that as kind of our core. That's where we post all of our content after we do lives, do trainings. And then we're just Jarvis Underground on Facebook, Instagram. We're probably going to do some more stuff there soon. And Rico asked, will the content from this challenge go away? We're storing all of the recordings for the paid challenge inside of the group with all the members who are joining us and have joined us. You'll get continue access with the training portal. Right now we, just have it until, you maintain access as long as you really need, the trainings. We're just going to limit the live calls to people that are either inside the membership with us or are paying for that challenge's ticket to make sure that they have a seat at the table. And because we're going to end up breaking this into groups versus just doing challenges with 100 or 1,000 people at it, because we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to chime in, have their questions, not get drowned out in just a sea of folks. But we're not quite there yet. Depending on how many people end up signing up for this next challenge, it might be one larger group. I'd like to cap it at 20. We ended up getting more than that signed up for this last one, which is pretty incredible. So just a little bit on the challenges. We got a question: how can I still switch to the physical book with Writing with Jarvis? Yes, you can. I need to check with Zachariah on the technical side of how we make that happen. Either we'll swap something out with your order, send you a new link to order or whatnot. Send me a message on Facebook. Just DM me. I'll make sure that we get you taken care of with that book. And if anyone out there is interested in the book, writingwithjarvis.com/pre-order right now. I'll take you to pre-order it. Official launch is on June 7th. Super pumped to continue editing and working on it over the next few weeks. Got another question from Rico. Do you have an affiliate? I forgot you could do this. That's cool. Do you have an affiliate program for the challenge that we can promote? Yes, we do. We are actually getting that. It's live now. We're still working on getting all like the swipe files and content into it. And so this is really like just for transparency, ran our first few challenges. It's going really well. People are very excited about it. We've had a lot of people ask us about this affiliate program. I believe right now, if you go to www.jarvisunderground.com/partners, that should reroute you there. And I say www because I need to fix the technical domain setup. It always throws me off. So some reason, if you just go to Jarvis Underground, it'll air you out. So add that www in, go there, check it out. And if you are interested in being an affiliate partner, we are, going to vet through people. Obviously we want you to have taken the challenge before to be a partner. So you know what it's kind of about going through. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me as well, darby@jarvisunderground.com, for any questions about the affiliate partnership, the challenge, anything in between. And super stoked that all you guys were on here with us today. I'm going to hop off here with Reed. Got a few more minutes. to hop into the other call. But cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. And we'll see you on the next live. Let us know if you want to do this again.